sponsor.
Ay carumbo.
Ay caramba. Oh my lord.
Ay.
Hello. How do you say hello in Japanese? I know you can say
ni hao?
moshi. Ni hao? I know you can say like moshi moshi for like.
Moshi moshi
hi.
is like a greeting for like the phone, I think, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like over.
Like conversationally? I don't know.
Ni hao. I think ni hao is
Ni hao?
Chinese for hello.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Hmm.
Oh my god, I've worn this shirt.
Arigato.
Arigato?
Yeah.
I thought that was thank you.
No.
I don't know things. Arigato?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
thought that was thank you.
Girl, I don't know.
Leave in the comment below. Smash
Not
that subscribe button to enter your answer. I'm gonna try really, really
Twitter
hard
poll.
to talk into the mic.
It's okay.
Even
Do
though,
it. Live your truth.
Yeah.
Live your
Oh
goddamn.
my god, you're really doing a bad job at talking into your mic.
I'm being a stage mom. You're doing amazing, sweetie.
Would you ever, if you had kids, would you ever,
Put them in the show business.
or just like be one of those that
Mildly
like,
suggest that
goes to every sporting event and like takes it really seriously, like really seriously?
I'd be like Sofia Vergara on Modern Family. You say take him out. Why don't I take you out? You know that one where he's at the soccer game and she threatens to like kick the mom's ass.
Yeah.
You want to take him out? How about I take you out? And like the mom is just like, bitch.
This is soccer. It's like a little kid's soccer.
Yeah, it's.
I love her. She's gangster. She's a hood bitch.
Yay! You son of bitches. I love her.
Speaking of hood bitches, my segue.
Okay.
So one of the things that I
Oh, wait a minute. Welcome
hi.
back to Scrambled.
Hi. Okay,
Well,
can we
thanks for
not say
watching.
welcome back? Just because I don't like implying.
What if, like,
people
you
that
came and,
people
like,
have
left,
been
though?
here before? What if you've never came before and this is your first time with a new person?
Hi, thanks for watching Scrambled.
Hi.
Podcast.
It's just like it feels very welcome back to my channel,
Oh, okay.
and I hate that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like to think that you've been here before. You've stumbled into this bad neighborhood. Hey, what's up? Give me your wallet.
You can't wear them colors out here, cuz.
So I wanted to talk about something really quick. I don't know if you've heard about it, but have you heard about the Kendrick Lamar concert in like Alabama where he brought a white girl on stage and she said the N-word?
Yes,
and like
I have.
she was like embraced by everybody, because obviously like when a fan comes up and like sings a song, you're just like, hey, you're hyped for anybody who goes up there. And they were like, hey, you go. And then she started singing. It was Mad City that he was playing.
I don't know his songs.
Oh, okay. Well, it was Mad City that they were playing, and it has the N-word all over it because it's Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
And she said the word, and people immediately turned. They were just like, it was like a cartoon almost, where like the face is in the back and it just switches, and it was like, no, bitch, not you.
Sorry, girl, we don't subscribe to that. Not even in Alabama.
No, it was they
Everyone
like,
at the concert was like, "No, ma'am."
they were like booing her to the point where like obviously Kendrick could hear.
You could hear it over everything.
Could hear over everything.
the fucking amps.
And he stopped and he's like, hey, because she had a mic too, so he could hear her in his ear, and he was like, hey, you can't, like, nah. And so he's like, should we keep going? And like the fans were like, yeah, maybe she won't say it. She kept saying it. She kept singing it after they booed her.
Oh, I thought she just did it once.
No, she did it again, and he no. I don't think she said I don't remember if she said the word. I think she did, but she like she had lost the hype, like it wasn't right anymore, and so he's just like, no, it's done. We're done here. And like, you can go. Yeah, it was pretty funny. So like, what do you think about that? Because a few months ago, there was, when Bodak Yellow was like at the tail end of its hypeness, there was a video as well with all of the like Victoria's Secret models in the back, where they did that as well. And not everybody, it didn't blow up super big, but like people were talking about like, should these people say it if they're like just repeating what the song is saying? Like, they're not using it in a derogatory sense, they're not using it to offend anybody personally, they're just regurgitating what's happening in the media. Why do you say no?
Because it's a word that's been reclaimed and repurposed, and the purpose of it now is to be used within the community. And I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that, because I know the connotation behind people of my color and other colors using it in a negative connotation. You know, I'm not using it I'm using it for I would be in a context where I would say that word. It would be used in a context where it's done in the reclaimed form, obviously. But as someone who isn't black, I'm not reclaiming it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just seems stupid to me to do that.
Well, that's the thing. It's like the context is them literally singing and embracing the artist's work. They're just saying what they said, but they're just outsiders in that community.
Yeah.
Like I feel I haven't thought about this very much, and it's gonna show.
Yeah.
But like I don't know if I feel the same way, because we've had this conversation before briefly. I don't know if we had it on the show, but where it's kind of like an all or nothing mentality.
Yeah.
It's either okay for everybody to say it, or it's not okay for anybody to say it.
Yeah.
And so I don't see I understand the reclaiming it and the empowerment and taking back the word. I understand that. And okay, go for it. But I don't see how do I say it? I don't see the importance. I don't see too much use for that word in a constructive way. It's just, it's basically how I feel about other words like fucking chink and spick and fag and retard. Like, I'm sorry, but like that's I mean, I had to say the words in order to say the words.
Yeah.
Like how I feel about those, I don't think any of those words in any sense are okay to use when you're outside of that community, obviously. But I also don't feel like there's any sort of, not advantage, I can't, I'm grasping at words, I can't think of the words. I don't think it's constructive to use it in any other sense. Like, it doesn't really benefit. It's kind of the way I feel about cursing, even though I still curse. I feel like there's not very much use for curse words besides emphasis, and even then you can emphasize with a more articulate vocabulary than saying a curse word. Does that make sense?
It does, but I mean, when you use those,
so I just don't say them.
Yeah, and there are people who are black that also prefer not to say them.
Yeah.
But I would say, to like kind of like piggyback off of that, is, and I think the word I'm looking for is semantics. But if we're getting into that,
yeah, that's
it's
like,
kind of like saying boots or the house down too. You know what I mean? It's for emphasis on certain things, but also within the black community, the N word means like, it can mean anything from like somebody who acts like they're a fuck shit type to, you know, someone who's a friend or someone you relate to. And it has multiple meanings within the community itself. And that's cool. I mean, obviously, that's kind of
yeah, like, go for it.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where I feel like as someone who's not a black person, it's not up to me to make those kinds of opinions and say what a black person can or can't do. Does that make sense? Because it's not fair.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying is I'm not commenting on people of color using that word or anybody using any of those other words. I'm saying like a white person, someone outside of that community using that word. I feel like in that sense, like boots or house down, like I'm not gay. Yeah. And
well, I mean, anyone can use boots or house down.
Well, yeah. Well, like I'm not saying it's like something that has been either created or made what it's made now. Because like a wig is a wig. Wig is not a verb, but it's been made into a verb, and it's very specific to a very
this conversation wig.
It's very specific to a specific community, and as an outsider, you can look at that looking in and being like, oh, I like that wig, you know, and then you just go on to your little world over here and start using the word, and it can become its own little thing. Whatever. I'm saying I'm commentating whatever. I'm commentating on people outside of that. Like, I feel like as an outsider, I would see it in a very like yes or no way, for the lack of better terms, in a very black and white way, to be like, I'm just gonna omit that because it serves me no purpose to say any of those words at all, because for various reasons, I don't belong into the community. It can be misinterpreted because I'm an outsider. Like, you in your community, say whatever you want. Go for it. Have fun. Because you're reclaimed. Because that word is yours, you know? And I can say that about my brown people words.
Yes,
you know?
your brown people words.
I can say that about my brown
people words.
Yeah, and so, and I can interpret it my way when you say that as a brown person, or I can interpret it my own way when you say that as an outsider from the Latino community. But I'm saying, like, as an outsider commentating on another outsider, how do you feel? Like, I feel like they should look like, why would she not know better to not say that word? I just find it a little absurd.
Maybe she was high. Maybe she was drunk. Maybe she wanted to. Maybe she thought that it was him signing off on her saying it.
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
You know what I mean?
Like him co-signing and being like, oh, girl, yeah, you can, like, you're safe here.
You know what I mean? But also, it's very naive to think that.
And she was young.
She was young.
She was a young girl.
At this point in time, though, with the kind of commentaries that we have in America, I don't think that's a good
There's no
enough
excuse.
excuse.
Yeah, I don't think
because
there's an
you go
excuse
your whole life hearing that word.
Especially with, like,
in
the
Alabama.
Girl.
Like, something tells me that she was just like, yeah, I'm going to take this mic and do whatever I want with it. That being said, I don't...
Yeah, because she was also saying, like...
Oh, am I not cool enough? Is it not cool to do that? And he's like, you're doing this. And then she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And it's like,
I got you. Like,
are you? Do
like,
you?
I don't like that.
Something about that told me, like, she just wanted the opportunity.
You're just
and,
trying to play.
Yeah.
And you're here to play.
She knew that she wouldn't get in, like, huge shit for it because of the fact that it's, like, a big thing. Yeah. And I think, but again, I don't know this young, white, stupid woman. So I can't speak for this young, dumb white girl. I can only give my opinion.
Yeah.
That being said, though,
I feel like a lot less mistakes like that would be made if people would just, like, if you just don't say the word.
Yeah.
Just don't say the word. You'll be so much better off. Because there's no use for you saying the word.
I just feel it's kind of like, I mean, it's like a completely different subject. We're not getting into it. But it's kind of like my thoughts on abortion. I don't want to have an opinion.
Let's get into that.
I know. I just don't want to have an opinion because I'm not a woman. And I have thoughts, but I'm never going to share them because I'm not a woman.
I feel like you can have an opinion and you can share your thoughts. I feel it's a whole nother conversation when you support people with power, like with your vote, to make those decisions in your bias. So if you say, I'm against abortion as a man, I don't want people to have abortions because of X, Y, and Z, I'm going to vote for this person because he also reinforces that statement. I feel like that's where it's a problem, because a problem. I feel like, I don't know if it's a problem or not, because you have every right to do that and have an opinion, but I feel like it should.
I'm scared about that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying yeah. I'm saying I wish people wouldn't do that, but like you do that in a positive sense. Like I say that because I'm obviously like do whatever you want, but if it were the opposite side of the spectrum and it was something that I was for, I would want somebody to obviously support that with their vote.
Yeah.
But like as an outsider, like if you're not a woman, then why would you sway either way? Because it's not your body.
Yeah.
So that very, very specific niche example, like I feel like that's where you can have your opinions and you can have your whatever, but you don't get to vote on it.
Yeah.
I feel like literally you shouldn't get the ballot.
What if?
I feel like nobody should get to vote on it.
Yeah, that's true.
Except for women, because it's
not
their
something you're going to have to go
consequence.
through.
Yeah.
And also, it takes two to tango with a pregnancy, and as an adult who has consenting sex with someone else.
Consenting, emphasis on consenting.
You should understand what you as a man are doing, as everyone gets held accountable.
But there's rapists out there, so
that's true.
And not everybody can afford birth control. And sex work is a thing.
Yes. Do you want to segue?
Yeah, I want to segue. Do you have one?
Yeah.
Like the one with the handle or the free-handed ones?
No. Mine is powered by hydrogen.
Yeah.
No, so I want to segue. Speaking of rapists.
Really cool. Oh, okay.
Let's talk about
please.
what you forced me to fucking finish watching this week.
So anyways, this is going to come out in a couple of weeks. So after the hype of everything, after all of the Twitter trending pages have died down, we're talking about what are we talking about? 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry. We're talking about 13 Reasons Why. It came out last week. I watched it over the weekend.
Last week? I thought it came out the week before.
We watched the first. No, because
it came out. The second season's out.
No, it came out last week because I was here last Friday, and we watched the first episode together. Remember, I made us buy wings.
Oh yeah.
I made us buy wings and we watched the first
I mean,
episode.
we got wings today.
You know, they're boneless, so they're not. You know how I feel about that. I put my vote on that. Whatever representative wants to get behind that.
You sign up at whatchamacallit.com to send alerts.
Yeah, I'd sign the petition. I'd run the petition. I'd walk around with a clipboard. Boneless wings,
Boneless wings
are not wings.
Those are chicken nuggets.
A fetus is not a person. Well, anyways, back to 13 Reasons Why. It came out a week ago, so it's been that many weeks since it came out. How do you feel about it? I feel like we can steamroll this really quick. Okay, how do you feel about this season versus last season? Because last season had source material. I don't think this season did. I think they just kind of took it and ran.
What do you mean by source material? I'm not that smart.
13 Reasons Why was a book, and they did the first season referencing the book, so they had guidelines.
Idea.
Yeah, it was a book. So I don't know if this was the structure of the book, but I feel like maybe every chapter was
Is that why it was fucking corny half the time?
You know, I mean, they had a lot more to work with, so they probably wanted to be like married to the source material to a certain extent. Like if you read the Harry Potter books, they want to make it look...
I'm still flabbergasted. Why does a 17-year-old drive a restored classic car?
Because he's a Mexican.
I never understood that part of it. That part bothered me.
Because he's Tony. Maybe in the next season you'll find
Tony
out.
ain't shit though.
He's not, but I like Tony.
And he showed that. I don't. I think he's like...
I like Tony and his anger problems. I really do. I like the... okay, so who was your favorite person that did their testimonial? Testimony?
Who sat up there and talked about Hannah in front of a court.
Yeah, I think it's testimonial.
Yeah, something like that.
We're smart.
The people who testified during Hannah's trial against the school.
Yeah.
My favorite one...
Yeah.
I really liked Zach.
I really like Zach too.
I'm surprised I remembered his name. I kept forgetting his name throughout the whole fucking season.
Zach, the tall Asian guy.
And you know who I really hated?
Who?
Marcus. I hated Marcus more than I hated Bryce.
I hated Marcus more than I hated Courtney the first season. Remember Courtney, the Asian lesbian girl who was like, oh my God.
I liked Courtney this season.
I did too.
Courtney was that bitch this season.
She was.
I knew she'd come through when she was out. I'm like, she's going to come out next season and I'm going to like her.
Yeah. She was out, or she came out. She kind of was forced to come out.
Yeah.
Which was super annoying.
Not fun.
And like made me hate that fucking defense attorney.
That defense attorney was a fucking
bitch.
Dick. Yeah.
She was
I did not like
bitch. Her. But that's her job.
It's her job.
I mean, it's her role in the story.
But
and
like,
also,
fuck, you do that for money? And obviously, Clay's mom had problems with that throughout the season. She quit her job at the firm, which I thought was nice.
She was working for the firm that was doing the defense for the school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how'd you feel about Justin? I know we're kind of just like bouncing all over.
coming back.
Just Justin this whole season.
This season, I thought he took his lumps.
He didn't come back. He was brought back by Clay and Tony.
He chose to come back though. He didn't get like a bag over his head and dragged back. He came back.
That's true. For Jessica.
I mean, great.
We'll talk about Jessica. But how do you feel, Justin?
Justin, I mean, I'm glad he's back, but like, I don't give a fuck about straight characters like that. I don't give a fuck about like far-fetched ideas on high school students.
Justin. It's not Alex's character, like Alex's real life human, who's dating Sam Smith. It's Justin's.
Oh. Even worse.
He's the gay one.
I mean, I don't like
he's gay too.
all three of them put together, so that's fine.
Okay. Okay. I like Justin coming back. He got adopted by Clay.
Yeah.
Clay's family. You're like, yeah, whatever.
He could have just gotten emancipated at that point.
He's doing heroin. Yeah, he's like almost 18.
You know how like you just like leave school and start doing heroin?
Yeah.
Because you're homeless?
Yeah.
I don't.
I can understand you like having an opiate dependency when you live with Bryce.
Yeah. Okay.
And so then having to be dependent on opiates when you're out on the street and not being able to afford
Buying
them.
heroin from a kid from school though? That was kind of weird.
I mean,
I've got some H.
Yeah.
You want it? I'm like, oh, that's what we call it now? You can't just call it heroin?
I'm the youths. Hello, young kids.
Hello, young kids. I am one of you.
Also.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt very that.
Yeah, there was a few moments this season that felt that way.
That felt like they were written.
Can we touch on Bryce's mom being that bitch?
Slapping him? Oh, the moment
you brought shame upon this family.
Yeah.
Like, no duh, bitch. Where were you season 1?
The moment that I liked, because that was Bryce's episode, right? Right?
Yeah, like the end of it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was at the end of Chloe's episode?
The fuck is Chloe?
His girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. That was, oh.
Was that the end of that episode? Because...
I don't know. Probably. It doesn't matter. Anyways, he got fucking slapped. Oh, yeah. Spoiler alert for all of this.
It'll be in the title.
Yeah. Emotional.
Hashtag emotional.
Story time. 13 Reasons Why. Spoiler. Hashtag emotional. There's a...
Boobs and thumbnail.
No, I really, really liked and I appreciated that they put in the moment when he was thinking about, like, he was sitting alone drinking whiskey like a fucking grown-ass adult. Anyways, he was thinking back on that day that he raped Hannah and he got hard.
That was really weird.
It wasn't weird. I feel like it was so appropriate and necessary because it made, and I'm gonna use the word sympathetic here for the lack of better words, because it made his character, it made it very evident to the audience that his character and his biology, he doesn't have a lot of control over that impulse that turns him on, that overtaking somebody turns him on, because he was just thinking about it and he got hard. And he, like, it's not like he started fucking yanking it. Like, he just, like, he kind of, like, tugged at his pants, like, oh, like, fuck, you know? Like, he just, like, he didn't really have a reaction to it, but he just, like, acknowledged that he got hard. And I was just like, whoa. It was such a small little moment.
I remember that moment, but, like...
I mean, they made you see it. Like, they literally cut away to his hard dick in his pants. And then the mom came in.
Yeah, I thought it was more like my interpretation of it was they were trying to highlight the fact that something's wrong with him.
Yeah.
Something's like and he's, do you think that he felt anything about that at all? Like, his character?
I think they left it really neutral so it could be up for interpretation.
Okay.
Because I like that he didn't smirk, he didn't frown, like, he didn't acknowledge it either way. So it's totally up to you to decide, is this person like a fucking monster, or is this something person?
He's a fucking monster.
I mean, yeah, because he does it, you know?
Yeah.
And he affects a lot of people's lives. But in that moment, he was totally, like, solitary, and he was just having thoughts about Hannah specifically, because that was he just testified or whatever. But I thought that was a really smart thing for them to do, because it I feel like I just don't have the right words to, like, express it, but, like, it made it a moment to where it was up to you to decide what he was. I liked it because it was a moment where he didn't have anybody, like, to impress. Like, he wasn't around his bros, he wasn't around girls, so he didn't have to be, like, charming, he didn't have to be, like, super, like, hyper masculine, like, bro dude to show off in front of his homies. Like,
that was just something that he's into.
It was just something that happened. His body had a reaction and he was just like, oh, you know. And so I thought I really, really liked that they did that. It was kind of, it put you in a really irky situation as an audience member, but I really like that they did that. I think that's important, because I feel like a lot of people forget that you don't get to choose what you get turned on by. Like, you don't really actively get to choose what turns you on. And so, like, I probably, like, if people hear this,
don't speak for me.
Yeah. people like are like talk a lot of shit, but, like, the conversation about, like, rapists and, like, pedophiles, and, like, whether or not it's, like, a nature nurture situation, whether they choose to want to fuck little kids or rape people, or if something that's just something that
I wouldn't know, you
know. I mean, like, hashtag can't relate, you know. So I really fucking don't know.
I don't feel comfortable enough talking about that, because I just don't know.
But I feel like people do forget that, like, you don't, if you think about it, you don't know why you have the preferences you have. Like, if I talk about my preferences as a heterosexual woman, I like a very specific kind of person, And yes, I have dated and like explored outside of those preferences, but like if you talk to me and you say describe your ideal person, I will say very specific character traits, you know? Like, you know? But
I don't.
but like I don't know, I think people forget that and that slips people's mind because they're so quick to like villainize that, and so am I, because you hurt people and you don't ask for their consent, and like it's fucked up, and those are kids and da 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 da. But that was a really good, I feel like that was just like a really appropriate example about showing somebody by themselves having a biological reaction to something without forcing you, without it being biased, because everything around it was biased except for that moment, and you got to draw your own conclusion in that moment, and I really appreciated that. Yeah, that's a conversation for a whole nother like week's worth of podcast. I've had this conversation with my roommate the other day, and like it got really heavy really fast.
Really?
Yeah, because anytime I say that, it makes me sound like a fucking pedophile empathizer. Like, who wants to be that person? Like, I don't. And so like I have to find very like specific phrasing for someone who doesn't have that knowledge, because I think we started talking about like rape kinks and stuff, and I have only recently found out about that, and so I only had like a
Welcome
very
to Pornhub.
I know. Yeah, like what a fucking loser. But like
what a fucking loser. I don't know about rape fantasy.
But like he really didn't know about it. He's like so much more conservative than I am.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is so fucking weird for me to like super uneducated on the topic to have that conversation, and then it made me look.
Whoa.
It made me look and feel really strange talking to somebody who knew less than me about it, knowing that I didn't know very much about it. And so I was like, I don't feel comfortable like really talking about this because I don't know.
It was like you were a blind person leading another blind person.
Yeah.
Two blind mice.
It was pretty
not out
fucking
of
bad.
town.
Yeah. And so I was just very wary in that conversation and this conversation to like not be like, go rape people. Like, I'm not condoning that behavior. But like, yeah, it was just weird, that conversation. I really, really liked that moment though. And the other moment that I liked that you just watched yesterday was the dude fight in the hallway.
I love fucking boys.
Disgusting. And she was just
pulling the fire alarm.
She was just like over it.
Pulls the fire alarm. Let's go.
Alex with the cane, like beating.
Wow.
What's his name? Montgomery, on the back, just like, and like falling on him basically.
I like that
he's like, I'm getting my moment, god damn it.
I like when he slams him up against the locker and he's like, you're gonna go to jail, and he just like leaves him alone. He just like upset.
Throws him like a fucking used napkin.
Yes, I loved it. It was the best.
The teachers fighting, the counselor and
I hated the coach this season. He was such a dick.
He was.
Like, I get it.
The moment when he said to Zach, it was towards the end of the season.
He tried to guilt trip him, and Zach
like emotionally
stood up for himself. Zach stood up. He's like, "You don't get to do that." I love that. He couldn't find the words. He was a teenager about it. He was a teenager about it, but he brought up a very interesting fact that like you can't like emotionally like
blackmail me
into like fucking doing your dirty work for
baseball.
Into baseball.
It's just baseball, dude.
Kim, there's people that are getting raped.
Kim, there's people dying. Yeah. I love that meme so much.
Yeah.
That was a good moment in the show.
That was the stupidest thing. I was just like, in my head the entire time I watched the season was like, it must be so great to live in this small ass town of mostly white people. Like, these are your fucking problems.
Oh, so let's talk about Jessica and Chloe.
This season Jessica had a lot of character development.
Yeah.
Like a shitload.
Yeah.
I think this was her, and I don't know if Clay made a lot of development this season in terms of his character.
I don't think so, but he doesn't need to.
I think he does.
I mean, well, yeah, no, yeah. As a person, yeah, he does. But I don't think his character, I think the development that his character needed from last season to this season.
Are we going to work our way up to the finale?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Was to let Hannah go. And he did that second to last episode. Or last episode.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
I think that's what it was what he needed, because he even lost Sky to that. Sky.
What did she say to him? What was her quote to him?
She's like,
I can love you
and still let you go.
And still let you go.
And he said that at the memorial. He's like, someone important to me once said, I can still love you and let you go. And like Hannah like opened the door into like the light. It's so cheesy. But what else are they gonna do? She just like fizzles away into butterflies or something. Like,
I mean, that'd be the shit. But
Corpse Bride already did it.
I was gonna say, you know, Disney might have had a problem with that. Pixar, whoever.
Yeah, DreamWorks. Yeah. No, it was Disney. But anyways,
I digress.
I think that's what Clay needed. I think that's really the only thing he needed this season. Because if they did more than that, like if he got back with Sky or something like that, it would have just seemed too much.
Yeah, the 13 Reasons Why has definitely established what kind of series it's going to be, though.
Do you think they're going to do a third season?
Let's see.
I mean, they didn't need a second season if you think about it.
They didn't need a first season. Girl.
Hey, I liked it. You know, I think it was really important for people to talk about these kinds of things.
Did you get into the Twitter? I know you watched it. I say I know you watched it late, but like it's an appropriate amount of time to have watched.
I watched it like
a 13 episode series. I binged it in 2 days, 2 sittings.
It took me the week to do it because I was planning on taking 2 weeks to watch it, but you were like, you need to watch it now because it's a podcast.
We're talking about it. We could have not filmed today, but like I really wanted to. I needed to say it.
I needed to put it out there.
Yeah. Okay. So Jessica.
Yeah.
Jessica wasn't forced out.
No.
Like Courtney as a like rape survivor, rape victim, but she did finally start seeking support, which was that
Who's
out of
Courtney?
her. No, not Courtney. Courtney is the
Chloe.
Asian lesbian.
Chloe.
Jessica. Wow. Jessica? Yeah. Wow. Jessica, I'm malfunctioning. Jessica went to her testimony and basically said everything but rape. I was raped by Bryce. And she felt bad about it, but she finally was kind of like, did she go to the like support group out of her own accord, or was she like
she was told that it's a thing you can do by the counselor, and after he told her that, she was a little like, not, I don't want to go about it. And then
she's like, I don't want to talk about it.
She eventually said like, I don't want to sleep on my parents' floor anymore. And she got up and actually went. And that's where she met her friend.
Yeah. That Nina chick. Oh, how did you feel about the like fucking bucket of pictures when you found out about
the
that?
box of Polaroids?
Yeah.
It was fucking weird.
The moment when I think it's Alex that goes with the gun with Monty to like this weird obscure place.
Where the fuck did you get that, Alex? Monty gave it to me.
Yeah.
I was like, the tea is hot.
Yeah. Monty gave it to me.
He set himself up because he's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
He gave me a bullet too.
And he took him to this place and he's like, bye. He's like, you're good luck catching up. Like, I'm leaving and I'm leaving you here.
Yeah.
And he really couldn't do anything. Okay, but now talking about Monty, we'll move forward so we can move forward. Some time passes. Does some time pass? Yes. Some time passes because Tyler
is
the photographer dude,
sure.
I think that's his name.
The guy that takes the pictures.
The guy that takes the pictures gets sent to like an alternative program outside of the school for a couple of months, a month or two.
Comes back bald.
Comes back totally his head shaved.
That's
really,
how you
like,
know he's changed.
Really like no friends because the girl he had a crush on has moved on because she's a teenager, and his one friend that he found, which is like an alt goth-ish kid who's like a poser, he finds out, turns him in because he was talking about
shooting up the school.
He wasn't explicitly talking about shooting up the school, but like fucking shit up to the end.
The school found out he was blackmailing people, and that he was just plotting and scheming, and that it was only gonna get more intense. And the dude did not want to have anything to do with that, because he's not hardcore. He doesn't live hardcore. No, you're not hardcore. Yeah.
And so he comes back, and everybody close to him has kind of like separated a little bit, and he is fine. He's like totally accepting of that. He's just like, okay, I guess do your own thing. Like he was kind of sad about it, but he was just like, it's fine. And he has gone to this program, came back, shaved, a changed man.
A changed mom.
A changed man. A Monet-ish changed man. And he feels better.
Yeah.
And he has like a new like outlook on life at school, Liberty High. And
something like that.
He goes and he sees the counselor and he's like, yeah, I'm fine. Then he goes to the restroom and Monty shows up.
Yeah.
And Monty is very bitter. Oh, Monty has a moment with Bryce. And Bryce already knows that he's going to another school. Bryce is staying there for a couple of months to finish off the football season and the semester, I guess. And then he goes to another school and starts fresh and leaves everybody in their shit, basically. He only got 3 months probation.
Yeah.
Justin was literally in like juvenile detention for 6
months
because he didn't have anybody to get released into custody to. So he only got 3 months probation, not even like incarcerated, like nothing, like just probation. And so he can't get into trouble. He goes back to school. He has a moment in class with Monty, and Bryce is very upset. And he basically calls out, like, Monty says, are we going to do anything about Tyler? And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, he fucked up our baseball season because he fucked up the field. He did a bunch of shit, and he fucked up the season. He's really upset about it. And Bryce is like, I'm on probation, you fucking idiot. Like, no, we're not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna get in trouble and go to jail. Like, fuck out of here. Like, all your stupid little threats, like the bullet and the notes and the bullshit like that, just got us into more trouble and put the light on me. So fuck out of here.
He's like, I was doing it for you, bro. And he was just like, I didn't fucking ask you to.
I didn't ask you. Yeah. And so he's like, we're done. And he like gets up and leaves. And
Tell me what you want me to do. Monty's character was very desperate for companionship and friendship this season, and he was doing it in every which way he could to like try to appease the fact that like Bryce was the alpha of their group or something.
But he also had the moment with Alex when he ditched him, when he ditched Alex for the Polaroid pictures or whatever. When Alex had the gun, he basically admitted to Alex to not having anything, to saying, my life is shit. Like
all I have is what's at school with my friends.
Yeah, and he admitted to that wholly to Alex. Whether that got to anybody else, don't know. But Bryce knows about it because his arm, Monty's arm was broken in that scene between them. And he's like, obviously your dad didn't fucking beat some sense into you enough because you're still fucking stupid. And he's just like, yeah, like tell me what to do. And he's just like, don't talk to me, like leave me alone.
Figure out.
Yeah. And so you could see that he was just like desperate and like upset. And I don't know if it's the next scene or a couple scenes after, he runs into Tyler, let's just call him Tyler, the photography dude, in the restroom, or he probably already knows that he's there, and he fucking slams him into the mirror, into the sink repeatedly, his head like straight into the sink. And it's so like I don't want to repeat it because it's so fucking violent and disgusting and gruesome, and like that has literally happened to people.
Yep.
Like last year and a half or 2 years ago, it like happened to people with mental disabilities, like for fuck's sake. And like you see it, like, well, you don't see it, but you see all of that violence against this kid who's just came back for absolutely no fucking reason. Someone who's very hurt and damaged and fucked up, like Monty, taking it out on somebody else who is just weaker and who made a couple of mistakes and like doesn't fucking know any better. And it sucks because it's like kids with kids, you know, people that just don't have the emotional maturity to handle anything that's happening to them.
It's a cycle.
Yeah, it's vicious. Dude, that scene was so vicious. And like I finished watching it and the episode continues. Like
are you talking about the broom scene?
Yeah, the broom scene. It like
can we put a pin on this for a second?
Yeah.
Why?
That's what people
it's like that video of the boy that's mad that his mom took away his World of Warcraft account and shoves a remote up his ass when he's so upset.
Oh.
Do you know that
himself?
Video? Yeah, he like comes into his room, his brother like puts a camera in his room and he like freaks out and he's like upset and he like slams himself into his bed a couple times because he's like so upset about it and he doesn't know he's being filmed, and he grabs the remote and puts it up his butt and screams, and then he doesn't really put it up his butt, he like kind of shoves it up against his butthole, I guess. Screams and then throws it on the bed and then continues to throw his tantrum. For what reason, I don't know. But
when you're upset, you just
That's
get
what
upset.
literally I thought about when I watched that scene. The end of it. I was just like, I mean, he could have just beat him up.
Yeah.
He could have just like really like break his jaw. Fine.
Yeah.
That's a more viable thing than like, and the fight ended with me getting a mop shoved up my butt.
Yeah. It was.
I didn't understand that.
It was. I think they did it because it had happened. Because even in the moment where Jessica had her trial against Bryce, they had all of the women
Oh, that was
basically in
interesting.
the show have like a little montage of like the people that they had been, like a very Me Too moment.
Mm-hmm.
All the women, most of the women in the show had a moment where they spoke very briefly about their sexual assault, harassment, abusers,
Mhm.
etc. And that was a very, I wouldn't put it past them for those to be real stories
Yeah.
for the crew and the creators or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think they did it because they wanted to kind of do a social commentary on things that have happened. Because I don't know verbatim if that's what happened to the, I don't remember where it was or like when it was, but it was around 2 years ago that a group of kids basically attacked a mentally disabled kid. And they did that. They
really
did the broom.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was.
I thought they were.
grotesque.
I heard about. I know what you're talking about. They like took video of it.
And they put it live.
Yeah, I
They
didn't
did
know
it
they
live.
did that to him though. I thought they were just like beating him up and stuff.
No, they fucking beat the shit out of him, and then they did that. Yeah. I think, I'm pretty sure that was like when I saw that,
A
it
mentally
was, like,
ill person was tortured for no reason.
imprinted in my mind. So like I feel like that happened. If it didn't, I don't know. Let me know. But yeah, I think they were just trying to do very accurate things, like very things
like
that happen.
show actual things that have actually happened in the world.
Yeah.
And show that it's like a common theme. Okay.
Which they also did, and the thing is, the episode didn't end there. This was the last episode, right? It was like an hour and a half plus.
Yeah.
It was like an hour and 40 minutes.
It was long.
It was super long. It didn't end there. There was like a dance that people were going to. There was a moment in the dance, Clea hears a song, oh my god, it's super sad, everybody goes in and hugs them. That's super, I like cried in that moment because I
thought it was sweet.
It was very, very sweet. It doesn't end there.
Because the last dance they had like that was when he was actually around Hannah.
Yeah, he was dancing with Hannah.
Yeah.
They had like a cute little moment. You see Tyler basically home, and he had just lied to his mom earlier that evening. The mom was like, how was your first day of school? And he's like wearing a beanie to cover up his bruises and shit, and he's just like drawing or something, and he's like, it was fine, it was great, like it was school was school.
Yeah.
And he like lied to
There's
her.
a lot of shame in Tyler's character.
Yeah, there's a lot of shame in a lot of the characters.
Yeah.
Like even Marcus's character, who's like a total piece of shit. Like,
he was a fucking asshole. I did not like his character this season.
You can
I didn't
tell
like
that
him more.
he feels shame for doing the things that he did, which weren't necessarily. They were gross and they were bad, but like, they're not out of character for any like. That's sad to say, but like a teenage boy.
Yeah.
You know, to like grope a girl and think that a girl's easy and try to impress her friends by like sleeping with a girl, because he's obviously not the kind of person who pursues. He's focused on other things, so that's not his primary thing. He doesn't have like a lot of game.
He's not chasing girls.
Yeah, he's not chasing girls, and he finds shame in that, and he finds shame in. You can tell that his dad thinks highly of his family, himself, and Marcus, so he's trying to obtain this ideal, and anything that's not that, he just like buries down deep.
Yeah.
And like suppresses. A lot of characters have that. Courtney had that. Chloe had that. Like a lot of people had that.
I just don't relate a lot to this show because that's not how I was as a teenager.
No, like me neither. I was just like, what? You're not yourself? Like, huh?
Yeah.
What?
I didn't have a choice to be. I have a family member who's mentally ill. Sorry, I couldn't just wild out like that.
Yeah. And so like Tyler's character, it sucks because like he is himself.
Yeah.
He's almost like unapologetically himself, and he just gets so much shit for it because it's not a cool self to be, you know? And he gets fucking beat up for it. It sucks. But like he just was like done. He was like, you could tell that like all his eggs were in one basket, and it was like this.
You could see where this was and like going.
From a mile away.
From the first episode of the season.
Yeah.
From the first episode of the last episode of last season.
Yeah.
You could tell where the end of this season was gonna go.
And they did that. They showed the exact same clip in a reverse shot with the same shirt, the same like little chest of guns that he had. Which how the fuck he's getting?
That's what I'm wondering, because his dad's not a cop, and he just has guns, and his parents don't know.
The internet.
No, it's California. I don't even understand how he just like has fucking assault rifles.
I don't know. I mean, his parents, I think, know. Oh no, they
no,
don't.
Because they're like,
because they thought it was like a BB gun.
Yeah.
Or they believe that it was a BB gun. But you can tell that they know that he's a good kid and he's been behaved this whole time, and he does well at like.
Those bitches don't know shit about their son.
They don't know anything about their son.
Like literally,
they really
name
don't.
4 of his albums. Like they're just stupid.
The non-single tracks.
Name 4 non-singles from Tyler.
And
name 4 of his photos.
and so like he has this moment where he's just like done, and he like suits up, and he basically is driving to the school. He tells the girl that he had a crush on, who's dating someone else, to like leave, and she basically tells everybody else like, I don't know.
This is what he's telling me.
Like, he's telling me to leave. I don't know why. And everybody like immediately goes on like red alert, like,
because Clay knows. Clay has like a really good idea.
Yeah, and he's shot the guns, and he knows he has guns. The moment where like Clay goes out and is like the front lines, and he's like, don't do this, and he like gets Tony. He like immediately has an action plan, and he's left there. Like, Tyler gets in Tony's car and leaves. He had the assault rifle that like Tyler was holding, like ready to fucking blow shit up.
Yeah.
And like, who is it? Jessica and someone else go out there, and they're like, what are you gonna do? And he's just like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, they were like, did you have like the rest of the plan hatched out? Or
he did damage control, and like it just ends there, and you're just like, what? It's so weird to like, even though it's like someone's interpretation of like how someone does this, it was so weird to like see it, to like see somebody like with tunnel vision, like, get the fuck out of my way, like telling somebody to get out of their way because they're gonna do this, and like knowing that there's a giant room full of kids that don't know what's happening, and people still keeping secrets, like some like Clay saying don't call the, or I don't remember if it was Clay or somebody else, but like saying, should I call the cops? And they're like, no, because they're still looking out for their friend, kind of their friend, an acquaintance.
I didn't understand that part at all.
Me either. I would have been like,
I would have been like, okay, well, we're all gonna leave, and let's call the cops right now. Yeah. Let's say what's going on, because this is the tea is hot.
Yeah.
The tea is scalding hot.
I didn't understand that, like, after all, but you could tell that, like, even like after the trial, and after Jessica's trial, and after like Tyler going to the counselors, like, they were so discouraged with any sort of authority figure, because even Clay, when they lost the trial, I think, he was about to shoot Bryce. He was just that person.
Yeah. In
like a weird mental state, fucking hallucinating a dead person, like going.
But what I'm wondering is, like, one, why would you do that to somebody who you're not even really friends with? Like, he was just part of the tapes at this point. They don't take
Tyler?
They didn't take any time to talk to him during the series. He didn't have any contact with anyone while he was at his thing.
Not really.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say hey to him when he came back. They didn't, like, there's none of that featured, and it's like, why did you do all this for that person? And also, why wouldn't you just, like...
I think there's still, like... I don't know.
You see, like, what I mean? It's just like, why?
Because they, like, they didn't apologize, but, like, they kind of... With everybody else, they kind of had a moment of acknowledgement, like of, like, thanks with, like, Courtney and Tyler, even in just in that singular moment, because they didn't have a lot of interactions with, like, the secondary characters this season. So, like, not Tyler, the guy with the poems, the gay guy with the poems, I forget his name.
Me too.
That guy, Courtney, the photographer dude. The photographer dude had a lot of narrative by himself and with his friend Cyrus. He didn't really have a lot of narrative with anybody else except Clay. That moment where he was, like, really upset. He's like, hey, you want to shoot guns? Like, that. And it was only because they were stuck in that class together.
Yeah.
I felt like first season and last season, even though he was part of the tapes and part of the whole narrative, he was always treated as an outsider. Even when he was the insider of that little group of
Yeah.
like Clay, Cyrus, and him. He was always like pushing it to the extreme when everybody wasn't necessarily comfortable or had agreed to that.
Yeah.
So he, even in that small group of like confidants or whatever, or friends, he was still an outsider.
Okay.
Like, I feel like, I don't know why Clay looked out for him like that. I think he just didn't want.
I think he was probably just sick of shit happening at his school like that.
Probably. He's just like, no more kids are gonna die under my watch, god damn it. And
Yeah.
he's like, I was just you, like, on the way to like do some real damage, and someone stopped me, so let me be that person for you. Maybe. I don't know if he had that foresight.
But I mean, like, what if he just shot Clay and killed everyone else?
Exactly. I mean, he took that risk. He knew that risk going out there, and he was hoping that he literally said.
Hannah.
I mean, he literally said it. He's like, if you're gonna do this, do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Like, he literally said, do what you gotta do, with a gun pointed at his face. So
But go through me if you have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have to shoot me.
It
was so extra, but it was like seeing that and seeing someone so focused and doing that, because spoiler alert, Santa Fe just happened.
Yeah.
And I was gonna talk about that, but like, but that was so vivid. Like, it had, when I watched that, it had been like 2 days since that happened. So I was just like, fuck. I was just like, this just happened.
This
here
show was filmed like how long ago, and this
state.
is happening still.
I mean, like, Santa Fe is basically like a statistic at this point, because I think
Yeah.
there was a middle school today somewhere that just got shot up. I didn't even read. This is how sad and like depressing it is, because I didn't even read the whole article. I just
That's
saw
how a lot of us are.
I just saw the headline. I was just like, fuck, god damn, a middle school, not even a high school. And I was just like, fuck. And I was just like, oh, my break's almost over. And I just like went on about my day. I honestly didn't think about it until today. I think I wrote it down on my like little notes to talk about it today, but I didn't even read the full article. I didn't even give it that much attention. That's how like
conditioned we are
yeah
to just like move on.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like we kind of, it's like at this point, it's like you feel like you can't afford to like put any more emotion into something like that, because it just keeps happening.
yeah
And where are you gonna end up if things like that keep happening? Like if you keep letting it affect you that way.
yeah
So yeah, I that makes a little more sense. It's just
I was super like shook by it, because I was just like, I just saw somebody in a representation of that state, and
Yeah.
I'd never seen that before, and that had just happened.
it's just so far-fetched to me that you wouldn't call the police. Like, yeah, of course, like if you feel like you need to get in the between everything, then get in between everything.
I mean, the police were coming. I think someone did end up calling the police. It probably was the girl that he had a crush on,
yeah, that's true.
because the police were coming.
But like the main character of a series, really, like
Yeah.
you really want your series to go on this long, and you really want this character to go on the series that long, that you're gonna have
Yeah.
to do this foolish shit.
I don't know.
After he just like every other episode before that was like, I'm sorry, Mom and Dad, I'll stop keeping secrets from you.
By the way, I need a car. I need a fucking car.
Yeah.
I like that moment,
I just like didn't. Oh yeah, when he asked for a car finally, and they gave him a
because
fucking
he just
Prius,
got like ran over the
ran off the fucking road.
yeah. That was funny, and they gave him a Prius. You can take one of the Priuses.
See, I just couldn't relate a lot to this season.
No.
I got a bike when I graduated.
No, I didn't fucking get shit. I didn't get anything. I got my dad's hand-me-down car that he didn't even need anymore, because he got a new one
At least you had a car.
in the middle of college. I had a flip phone my first year of college. It didn't even flip. It was a brick phone. It was a
I didn't
Nokia
have
brick.
a phone until like fucking 5 years ago. Okay, shut up. Check your privilege.
We were the same age. I was 19.
Yeah, I didn't.
You were
get
20.
Yeah, I didn't get very much either. I like
Yeah.
didn't.
I don't know why. I think I was going through phones at a high rate, where it wasn't even nice phones. It was
How
like other
nice.
people's
I wish
hand-me-down.
I was going through phones.
It was other people's hand-me-down phones.
When
So it
I
was like
wasn't in
my
college.
sister's old phone. I had an. Nobody's gonna know about this except for like one obscure person 10
What?
years from now. It was something called an N-Gage.
LG.
Yeah.
Nancy.
Bitch.
Anyone knows tech that knows those phones?
Oh, okay. Ugh. I had that. I had that in college, and I loved it because it had Tony
keyboard.
Hawk Pro Skater, and I fucking lived. I was like, "Dee, dee, 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 dee," and like someone that was in my college and the film program, he was like, "Oh my god, is that an N-Gage?" And I was like, "You're my friend." Like in advertising class. I don't remember how we met, but like that's the phone that I had, because it was like my sister's / my nephew's hand-me-down phone.
Was that like your most iconic phone?
Yeah, that was like the closest thing that I got to a sidekick, and I was just like, I can text really fast in T9.
My most iconic phone was an HTC Droid Incredible 2.
I don't even know what that is. It sounds like a super basic Frappuccino bitch phone.
It was like
was it made out of metal? Did it have a big speaker in the front?
It was matte black.
Juicy.
Yeah.
Hot.
So
that's hot.
So that's how I felt about the end of.
I know. We just started talking about phones. How did that happen?
Because
school shooting phones. This is a bad situation here. This is like not okay. Anyways, yeah, let's get back to being depressed.
Oh yeah. So that's how I felt about the ending of the season. Like, it was an interesting ending, but it was just kind of like, I can't really relate.
Can we play the most like morbid game ever? Yes. Okay. So I want to ask you a question, game show style. It's multiple choice. What did the Republican representative say was the cause of the most recent school shooting? A, Ritalin, which is an ADHD or ADD medication. B, trench coats. C, video games. D, too many entries or exits in the school. E, bullying. Or F, all of the above.
All of the above.
Literally.
Ritalin fucking
Ritalin by the president of the NRA, Oliver North. Trench coats by a conservative pundit named Hugh Hewitt. He said, "You might just say no more trench coats in schools. The creepy people, make a list, check it twice." That's what he said. Because the Santa Fe shooter wore a trench coat.
We're gonna find out who's naughty or nice.
Video games was Lieutenant Governor, whatever, Dan Patrick.
Okay.
Same guy. Said too many entries and exits to the school, not enough security at each entry and each exit. Bullying was the dad of the Santa Fe shooter.
But no mention of like the ease of access to firearms.
The Santa Fe shooter used his dad's guns. The dad got them legally, but one of them was a sawed-off shotgun, which are illegal unless you have like a
That's
fucking
why you have to saw them, because
permit.
you can't buy them that way.
You have to have like a super fucking crazy permit to even own that, and I don't think you can even shoot it. I'm not sure, but they're fucking illegal.
Yeah.
And he had them. But literally, like, I did like the very Vegas research, and I'm like, they're really saying all of these things are the excuse.
Yeah. Except for the one fucking common denominator in every single scenario.
Is that a kid has a gun in school. Did your school have metal detectors? We've probably had this conversation
No,
before.
we did. We have had this conversation, and no, we didn't. They might now.
Mine did. My middle school did.
No, they don't. I don't think they do. Maybe they do. I don't know. It'd be smart.
I think schools need metal detectors. I don't care how stupid it looks.
Mama, I know how to make a shiv out of a toothbrush.
I'd rather you be stabbing people than shooting everybody.
You've never seen me play Call of Duty.
You know. I'm done.
Why are you so in my face today?
So I have a question. So you haven't seen images of the shooter?
Nope.
How did you manage that?
How do I manage to not everywhere. See things?
Like, how do you manage to stay away from sources that like plaster his face over everything?
Because I choose the media that I consume. I'm really good at that. You know I'm really good at that. Has not gotten a cent out of me. But she has just gotten this mention right now.
TS.
And now she will continue to be referred to as she who shall not be named.
Because I did do research. I didn't know his name, so I couldn't do that. But like, I just Googled Santa Fe high school shooting, and like his picture was like all over everything. I wasn't necessarily not looking for his picture actively, but like I was just surprised by the amount of people who choose, especially because his intent was to shoot up the school, kill himself, but he didn't kill himself. Instead, he gave himself away or like surrendered or whatever, which is his own situation. He said he shot people he didn't like and spared the people he did like, which is, again, a whole situation to unpack in and of itself. But like, he specifically said he didn't shoot the people that he liked so they could talk about, so they can tell his story, is what he said. And I'm just like, if this is explicitly his intent that he said in an affidavit, why would you put his picture? why would you, like, I understand that you need your clicks, and that's the reason behind why people do this, because it's clickbaity and annoying. They get their ratings and they get their, like, engagement with it, but, like, this is literally what this person who caused so much harm wants, and you're giving him exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
Which is notoriety or fame or whatever. Recognition for this really vicious act. And so I was just wondering, like, I know there are some news outlets, like, I don't think, like, Anderson Cooper does that anymore, where he says, he might say the names, but I don't think he shows the images of, like, people that do things like that. I know, I watch a lot of Philip DeFranco. He doesn't do it either. He's like, I'm not going to give them what they want. Like, I'm not going to say their name. I'm not going to show their pictures. I'll talk about the story, but I'm not going to give them the glory that they want.
Don't give them the power.
Whether they're here or they're not. If anything, I'm just going to look at the people that overcame that situation, the victims, and the people that were courageous in those moments. People that should be celebrated in those moments. So I was just, like, really curious at, like, whether you had seen it or not. And, like, stuff like that. Yeah, that was one of my peaks, was, like, people being really nice in that situation, like JJ Watt coming up and saying, like, that he wanted to pay for everybody's funerals because he's, like, a football player.
Oh, okay.
Like a Texas football player. I think he's, like, Cowboys or something. I don't fucking know. Some sports.
He has the money to pay for funerals like that.
He has the money to pay for funerals like that. Kind of like how Ariana Grande did for the concert.
That was the relief concert was
that she was
funding
like
injured people and those who've lost people.
She's like, I'm paying for your shit. Like, don't worry about it. He did that. I was just like, that's really sweet. You don't have to do that. Like, you don't even know these people. That's really nice.
But it was a Texas incident, so it makes sense, you know.
Yeah. Ooh, there was a moment. So do you have, like, a peak or a chancla?
Let me check it, because we've already talked about one of my peaks, which was the ending of 13 Reasons Why. Ooh, I do have one.
Okay, I want you to talk about it, because there's this one situation that I need to talk about, but I need to click this link first so I can say the names and say it accurately, because there is so much shit. Remember last episode, I talked about the fake cancer?
Yeah.
Okay, to be continued.
Okay. Ooh.
You can speak.
All right. So mine is I don't know if it's any heavier than that, but it's lighter than us talking about school shooters. And it's more to do with...
it's easier on the digestive system.
It's a little easier. It's a little fluffier. It's like a funnel cake. And it's regarding Miss Ariana Grande, since we were just talking about her.
Sick. Okay.
So I'm going to read to you a tweet that someone sent out about Ariana Grande, and then what Ariana Grande had to respond about with it, okay?
Okay.
So the initial tweet that this person sent out, not giving you the shout out because fuck you. He said, Mac Miller totaling his G-Wagging and getting a DUI after Ariana Grande dumped him for another dude after he poured his heart out on a 10-song album to her called Divine Feminine is just the most heartbreaking thing in Hollywood.
Fuck out of here.
A heartbreaking thing happening in Hollywood. And she responded with an iOS press release.
As you do.
You know, she didn't have enough characters, so she did a press release via Twitter. And she responded with, how absurd that you minimize female self-respect and self-worth by saying someone should stay in a toxic relationship because you wrote an album about them, which, by the way, isn't the case, parentheses, just Cinderella is about me, in parentheses. I am not a babysitter or a mother, and no woman should feel that they need to be. I have cared for him and tried to support his sobriety and prayed for his balance for years, parentheses, and always will, of course, and parentheses. But shaming/blaming women for a man's inability to keep his shit together is a very major problem.
Queen!
Let's please stop doing that. Of course, I didn't share about how hard or scary it was while it was happening, but it was. I will continue to pray from the bottom of my heart that he figures it all out and that any other woman in this position does as well. So...
I want to, like, make that my phone background.
So, Ariana Grande is not having your shit. Please don't make someone else's issues with staying sober her problem, because she dealt with it for as long as she could when she didn't have to. And this is one of those things where it's like, even
Why would you not support your man when he's going through a hard time?
Yeah.
And I was just like, bitch, I ain't your
like
mom.
why would a woman always have to take the back burner for someone, like for a man's
To a
bullshit?
grown man.
Mm-hmm.
If if roles were reversed, I could see that happening as well. To like, oh, Mac Miller, you left her, and she obviously doesn't have her shit together. She's a grown woman.
Yeah.
They both have fucking money. It's not like
True.
they don't have, like, it's not like they're on the streets and they don't have the resources
Yeah.
to find the avenues. If you
can
don't
go to rehab.
if you don't want to get sober, you're not going to get sober.
No.
You have to want to get sober, and it's not going to happen if you don't want to fucking do it. It's like fucking losing weight. You're not going to stop making bad decisions until you want to, bitch. Like, all of those options are yours. Yes, there are biological things that you have to, like, the neurons are like fucking going the wrong way,
Yeah.
but all of that balances out after a while, and you
Yeah.
have to, he has the resources. I didn't know that happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Are you a
I'm
little shook at
flustered.
Ariana Grande?
I expected that from her.
Honestly, though, yeah, she's like an icon at this
I
point.
expected nothing less from her, but I like that she's calculated in a good way.
She processes thought before she speaks, and I find that very endearing in this day and age because it's so rare.
It's rare.
Crazy.
My boyfriend and I were just talking about that yesterday, because we were talking about like how we don't get along with people. We were just talking about how we have a hard time like finding friends and connecting with people who like whatever.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how we verbalize things, and he was explaining something to me, and he was thinking too fast for his mouth to keep up. And I tried to explain that, but I didn't have the words for it because I was like dead ass half asleep. And he's like, you have the opposite problem. And he's like, you talk too fast and you don't think before you say things, which this whole experience is built around that mindset. And I was like, yeah, you have the opposite problem. It's like you think too much, and then by the time you're like on your third point before you start saying the sentence, and then you like try to backtrack, and then like everything gets ruined. And I start talking without knowing where I'm going, and I try to figure it out. And he's like, yeah, you need to
You're
work
shooting
on
in
that.
the dark.
Yeah, I'm doing my makeup in the dark, hoping it comes out okay.
Which I told
And it's
you.
like, we're only in 1080p, so it's fine, you know.
It's true.
Yeah. Don't look at my eyeliner. Oh my god.
No,
you don't.
It's behind glasses. It's behind glasses.
It's like this.
It's behind glasses. You're good.
Figure out the slope of my eyeliner. Oh, okay. So last episode, I talked about fake cancer family,
Yes.
and that was like a whole moment. So this episode, let's talk about someone pulling the badge, and okay, we'll just say, someone published. Oh fuck, I don't know who the guy was that published a story saying that this lady, Sharita Dixon Cole.
I have no idea where this is going.
It's a mess. It's
Okay.
a fucking mess. Okay, so this guy wrote a story. I don't remember who the news outlet was, but he wrote a story basically telling the story about a Texas woman, because Texas is the new Florida. Like, we're just fucking up left and right.
We take a lot of L's.
We're doing the most right now. So he's
It's a big state. It's about time.
We have a lot
It's
of
only a
catching.
matter of time.
We've already done a lot wrong. It's been some time. We're gonna keep being messy. So this guy, journalist, whoever his name is, wrote a story telling a Texas woman's story. He said the lady her name is Sharita Dixon Cole, and he basically said the story that she got pulled over for having open alcohol in her vehicle.
Okay.
Open container. And she was physically, sexually abused by the cop that arrested her. That he put her in cuffs, put her in the cop car, and like hiked up a skirt and told her this big story of like, if you want to go home, you know what you have to do. All of that was fake. This journalist didn't find out until the cops' body cam footage was released. 2 hours worth of footage. In the body cam footage, you see her getting pulled. I mean,
I didn't see her getting pulled over. I only watched it choppy because there's a lot of footage.
Yeah.
But you see her in the driver's seat.
Okay.
Getting pulled over. You see the cop getting the cup, sniffing it, saying like it's alcohol. You see that clip, or I saw that clip.
It was just like a cup of.
It was like a Starbucks cup.
That's
like a paper cup.
Okay.
Like a hot latte
the
or whatever.
Details, but go ahead.
He smelled the alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
He put her in the back of the car. You see that moment. Nothing happens. And there's obviously moments in between these. Then you see him like literally put the cam on top of like a filing cabinet, and he has her in the holding area. I don't know, it's just a table like an office. Okay. He has her sat down, and he's like having small talk, fucking with some paperwork, and he makes her take a breathalyzer, and she comes in right under the legal limit, but it's been like hours since she got pulled over. Yeah. And so basically it was released that she made up this whole narrative and told this journalist, or just started saying this story even though none of it happened. And like this journalist took that story and ran with it.
And he didn't fact check any of it? That's if charges were pressed on her, that's like
that's the thing. It was before any sort of she couldn't I mean, she probably wouldn't press any charges because there's nothing to fucking press charges for. As soon as that body cam footage came out, like that's the first thing they would have done. They would have been like, nope, done. And I think she's actually getting charges filed against her. Yeah, because that's like defamation.
That's defamation.
A woman said a Texas state trooper sexually assaulted her. Her lawyer apologized after seeing body cam video. Yeah, it was fucked.
How big are body cams? How do you not see them?
I don't know. I've never seen it. I mean, charged with a DUI. In 2-hour video, Hubbard approaches the vehicle, asks Dixon Cole why she didn't stop sooner after he turned on his lights, administered a field sobriety test, and determined she was intoxicated. None of the allegations can be seen. It's deeply troubling when innocent parties are falsely accused, and I'm truly sorry for any trouble these claims may have caused Officer Hubbard and his family. Merritt wrote in a statement on Facebook, I don't know who the fuck that is, her lawyer maybe. Okay. I take full responsibility for amplifying these claims to the point of national concern. Filing a false police report is a Class B misdemeanor in Texas, so she filed a police report against this guy.
Okay.
Shit. Yeah, Merritt Law Firm.
Well, shit.
And I'm just like, girl, you're doing so much damage here. Lot. I was just like, well,
she dug herself a deep hole.
Not even for her. Anybody who's gone through sexual assault. Yeah. Like, you just shit all over. That's why people are scared to talk about that. That's why people nobody will come out and say, like, this happened to me because of fucking bitches like you.
It's really discouraging to anyone else because of the fact that I think 13 Reasons Why, even to make a full circle. Oh my God, are we having a circle moment?
It's the only shape I know.
On 13 Reasons Why. Shut up.
I don't even know what that was. It wasn't an innuendo. I just said it.
I know.
It doesn't make any sense.
But yeah, on 13 Reasons Why, that was why Jessica didn't want to come out, because she didn't want everyone to just be digging into her life and making her look the same way that lawyers were trying to make Hannah look.
She said it. Like, she's like, as soon as I admit to this publicly, everything's going to change. Mm-hmm. I'm only going to be known like as that.
As the girl who cried wolf. And hopefully that they'll believe me. And, it was a whole lot. And then the whole 3 months thing happened.
Yeah, he got shit. He didn't get anything.
Yeah, he didn't even really fucking pay for it. He just
Which is also an example of that girl who, oh God, I forget his name. The girl who got, like, raped by the dumpster. Those fucking people on bikes found her.
The Swedish men found her?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's literally copy and paste that.
Something... I don't even want to say.
I don't know. I don't fucking remember his name.
But good.
Yeah, it was. Dude. Speaking of that, like, there's, I think yesterday, Harvey Weinstein.
He has been arrested. Got arrested.
Did he post bail already?
More than likely.
Probably posted bail. I mean, he pled not guilty. I saw that. Yeah. Released on $1 million bail over rape and abuse charges.
Good.
But like. Did he turn himself in? Harvey Weinstein turns himself in to police.
Okay.
Faced with assault, rape charges, rape allegations. He was arrested. Well,
Something tells me he's gonna do some settling in this.
Yeah.
That's how everything works.
I mean, the thing is, the people that
Although
he's
Bill
probably
Cosby's on house arrest.
it sucks because like the people that he's going up against probably likely don't have the funds to go into an endless legal battle.
Yeah.
That's just going to be pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed.
And they're going to have to literally settle.
And that's the only thing that they're going to be able to do.
Yeah.
Because you have to give your whole fucking life to win a lawsuit over somebody who has more fucking money than you. Your whole life.
Yeah.
And all of your money. And even if you have like bomb ass lawyers, like they cost money.
Yeah.
Fuck all that.
That's like in that McDonald's movie where he's like, we can go to court, but you're never going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
McDonald's movie? What are you talking about?
the McDonald's movie, The Founder.
Oh, I never saw that.
Oh, you didn't? There's a scene
I heard it
where
was good.
there's a scene where he's like taken McDonald's so far, and the guys that originally had the idea for McDonald's and were like doing the first McDonald's were like, we're gonna sue you for rights, and he's like, I mean, you can try. He's like, but look at how much you have and look at how much I have. The best you're gonna be able to do is settle.
Yeah.
And they end up settling.
Mm. Bitches, dude.
Yeah. It's real quappy.
It's
But-
well crappy.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
Are you eating a wing?
No, I'm not.
Shut
Full
up.
circle, motherfucker.
I didn't know you still had some.
There's one left.
That's a
There's
big
one unidentified lump. Did you hear that? Do you know who Teddy Geiger is?
No. Who's that?
Well, he ain't Teddy Geiger no more. She's a woman.
What?
You know, I only remembered him because I had a huge crush on him in like early aughts, you know?
He's a woman?
He's a woman.
It's a woman?
She's a woman.
She's a woman.
I want to find his.
Dude is now a lady?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You okay? Oh, is this that?
Mm-hmm. He had a song. Early 2000s, early 2010.
Shawn Mendes opened up about Teddy Geiger and gender identity.
His eyes are so blue.
Shawn Mendes?
Teddy Geiger.
Teddy Geiger?
He was like kind of like a one hit. Her eyes
are so blue.
Her eyes are so blue. There was a single. I can't remember the name of the single. It was a really good single. Kind of a one hit wonder situation. But she writes for Shawn Mendes.
I like how Shawn
No.
Mendes, never mind, I'm not even going to go there. That's his story to tell. No, I'm not even going to go there. Teddy Geiger.
But yeah, that's just something that I didn't know
Exciting.
until like this. She cute.
She's cute. I like her hair texture.
But yeah, he's I think she was like on a red carpet, and that was her first appearance.
Yeah.
Like she had been on Instagram. I don't think she like had been hiding it. I think she just like fell under the radar for such a long time that her following wasn't like massive. And so she was posting on social media just like pictures.
81.3 followers.
She's like, if I look different or sound different, it's because I'm going through hormone treatments.
I'm going through a psychological change in my life.
I'm going through hormone treatments, and she had her first red carpet a few weeks ago.
The little black dress that she had.
Mm-hmm.
Cute.
What was the?
Good for her. She deserves to live out loud. I'm
Yeah.
happy for you.
Maybe that's my peak.
A woman. That's a woman.
She wrote Mercy.
What's Mercy?
It's a Shawn Mendes song. I've heard that one. I think.
I don't think I've ever listened to Shawn Mendes. Who's
Written
the other
songs?
one? Charlie Puth. I've listened to him.
They're the same person to me.
I thought they were the same person. Until someone said their names together in the same sentence, and I was like, oh.
Oh, they're different.
That's not the same white man. Is Shawn Mendes white?
For you, I will. I don't know. I barely know who he is. I really don't. This has been Scrambled Podcast. We're leaving now.
Are we done?
I don't
that
have
it?
anything else to say.
I
I don't. My chancla was like everything that's happened like in the past 2 weeks.
I want to make sure. I want to get it all out.
My peak was Teddy Geiger because
I wanna
I'm just
shake
happy
it.
for her.
Shake it. Oh, never mind.
My peak is Cracker winning the challenge.
Yay!
Honestly, my peak is like Chester C living his life on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Living his honest to God truth.
He was the Sarge from what was it, season 8?
Yes, I love the Sarge. He was the Sarge this season. He came through. I'm happy. I'm happy Cracker won finally.
Me too.
I'm happy that it was with Chester C because he was kind of like the underdog. He was nervous and shy.
He was. They played him down.
Yeah, they
and then
played him
as
down.
soon as like they gave,
But
I like that Cracker step back. She went like,
She's like,
hmm.
and they goes, she's a woman.
Yeah.
That was.
She realized
She's
the
like, "Oh, I'm
moment she
having a good
realized she
time."
was finished. She was
Yeah.
like, I did it. I love that she spent that much time on him.
Chester C's makeup looked better than hers. No other queen on that stage could say that.
Yeah.
I mean, Kingsley came close. Kingsley was so nervous.
He came out really pretty though.
He was fucking pretty. He looked out really pretty. His outfit, I don't know about that, but she
Mhm.
could have like bedazzled it a little bit more. She
It's-
could have just changed a
Yeah,
lot.
it could have been a lot cuter. She could have easily won that challenge.
His body looked great though.
Yeah, I did.
His his I was gonna say waist and cinched at the same time.
He was
and
winched.
He was winched. His waist was
She
fucking
was watched.
cinched. What does that mean?
Her waist was snatched.
Oh, watched.
Watched.
Nice.
Watched a hack.
It started here, folks. I think.
I'm
Imagine
a pioneer.
when you think you invented something
I'm a
and it's just
pioneer
like
of fusion
it's-
words.
she's been out. Oh my god, I invented it.
I invented it. I was a creator.
Stop trying to make wanch. What did you say? Wanch.
I don't even remember. What? Watch?
It started and ended here, folks. I farted.
That's what. Thank you so much for watching Scrambled Podcast.
Put that in the bloopers. Don't put
No,
it in
this
the
is the
episode.
end.
No.
This is the end.
I have
Nancy.
a bad reputation. I can't be known as a
Bad
farter.
reputation. That's fine.
No. I'm here for the burps, but I'm not here to be a gassy queen.
You're gross.
I'm not here to be a gassy legend.
We don't love a gassy
It's the
legend.
only life I know.
Ugh.
Ugh.
You're nasty.
Bitch. Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
I haven't gotten to fart in front of you yet. Have I farted in front of you yet?
I've smelt your farts. You probably didn't announce it, and you probably didn't like do it loudly, but you crop dusted me a couple times. And I know it was you.
Probably.
You were like, I gotta go. Miss Vanjie.
You're dumb. But honestly, though, that is me.
I love how.
Oh, should we make the announcement of the changes happening soon? Or should we just let them happen?
Can I get the announcement of what changes that are happening? What are we doing? Oh.
Do we just...
Yes. No, let's give the people a hint. Because the audio quality might change.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Your apartment is your living room at least is a little bit smaller and more cushiony than mine.
Yeah.
There's carpet. And in my apartment, which we'll be filming the rest of the episodes for the foreseeable future at, is a hot damn mess. And it's probably going to be really echoey. And we're going to try our best. So please be gentle with us.
Please be gentle.
Please be gentle. Or what does Sofia Vergara say? How about I take you out?
How about I take you out?
Yeah, so we're gonna try our best. We should do like a test run just to like set up and do the audio. Just one day when you're over.
I feel like it'll be okay.
Oh yeah, we'll make it okay, but like just so we hear before we are gonna post something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's happening. We're changing locations. It'll be the same stupid stupid show. Same super shit show.
We're just finding a new place to facilitate this
we're
madness.
we're just gonna be somewhere else. Yeah. It's happening, y'all.
It's all happening. It's all coming together.
Achoo. Bye.
Later.
I feel
Oh shit, I'm not even recording. No, it's not.
You're like, I have to deal with this footage later. That's right. That's right.
And we're off. Bow, 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 bow.
There's so much
Clapping.
space.
There's so much clap. Ew. Ew, gross, but also yum.
My lipstick's not finished.
What?
My lipstick's not finished.
Oh. Oh, I like this.
Thanks. It was for free when I spent too much money on a blush palette that I don't ever use. That smells.
It was
so
it was the travel duffel you get with the purchase of any cologne.
Yeah. The Victoria's Secret big.
Is that color poop?
Huh?
color poop.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is. I thought you were making fun of the color because it's poopy color.
Because it's
I was
poopy?
like, yeah, it's color pop. It smells like vanilla. I like that.
Smells cheap. Just kidding. Smells normal
Very
price.
cheap.
It
Go back.
smells affordable.
Go back to Party City.
Back to Party City where you belong. You stupid bitch. Ooh. Oh, wait. What was I going on here for? I was checking Twitter so I
Miguel,
could...
do you get unsolicited dick pics?
I mean, no.
Did you get unsolicited dick pics on like dating sites?
No.
No. That's respect. Is that like not a thing that gets done
What do you mean?
in the gays?
No, you get it. It's just I don't...
Oh.
I'm not on like social media that requires that to be like an exchange thing.
Oh, I was talking like before.
Oh, before like on... Like when I was on Grindr and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, okay. I just didn't know if it was like a thing. Like, is this...
No, I got a... This is a man wearing short shorts and heels, but okay, fine. Yeah, I know you definitely get them.
How is my battery low?
But how?
It literally just said full. I'm so offended.
Your mom's full.
Because I had time to charge these. I said, wow. Hey, everyone. I'm fucking high.
I don't know. It's probably fucked up. I was crazy back then.
Oh my god.
You were asking me what?